Okay, so I just filmed the Get Ready With Me, and this is the final look. So if you want to know, like, the process that it took for me to get here and have a little chat real quick, stay tuned for the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. It's like, you can't assume that just because someone is goth or that someone is alternative, that they're gonna be a good person. Yeah, like, I just feel like the TikTok goth community is not a real place. Just because someone is loud doesn't mean they're right. And a lot of people are just loud and wrong. Hi, my name is Ella and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a makeup video, like a goth get ready with me, while I get ready to go to a food festival, like a Thai food festival that's just a couple blocks away from me. And I just wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing discussed a lot on TikTok that I personally think is a trap. So the idea that there is a such thing is goth dysmorphia or alternative dysmorphia. I'm not saying that people are lying about their experiences, because I definitely experienced this phenomenon too, but I feel like it's a trap, it's an illusion. And it's like, I don't want to say it's not real because I don't want to invalidate people's opinions or feelings or anything, but I feel like this mentality has been pushed on us as a community from fast fashion brands to profit from our community. So body dysmorphia is a condition that people can suffer for various, medical and like mental health conditions. Like if somebody is like overweight and they get gastric bypass surgery, even though they're no longer as big as they were, they may still feel that way because they kind of lost the weight overnight and didn't get to see themselves progress. So they may develop an eating disorder trying to get skinny even though they already are. Another example of body dysmorphia is what somebody that identifies as trans or non-binary would feel, where they feel like the body that they have doesn't represent how they feel on the inside, and they want to do things to make those images align. And I feel like the idea that alternative people can have alternative dysmorphia or that goth people can have goth dysmorphia is kind of rooted in this lie that if you don't look like how the goth models look for the popular goth fashion brands, if you don't look like the popular goth influencers, if you don't look like the rich goth kids 24/7 in everything you do, and if you don't have a job that is supporting of your goth lifestyle that allows you to dress in that way, that you're a poser and that you're not real, that you can't get accepted properly into the goth community, and even outside of the goth community, it's like if you don't fit into other people's stereotypes of what a goth person is, then they're easy to write you off as being fake or being a poser, especially if you're a person of color. So you may feel like you need to overcompensate for people's doubt by trying to dress extreme all the time, even if you can't afford to buy all those clothes and you don't have the time or energy to DIY everything. And I'm here to say that it's a trap. Not like dressing goth is a bad thing or just a silly thing that you grow out of or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that at all. What I'm saying is this idea that if you don't look 110% the part 24/7, all day, every day, all the time, that you're not a legit goth alternative person, it is a lie created by fashion companies to make you feel less than and make you want to buy more stuff to try and fit in, when that's not even, the case in real life. If you guys go outside, not just to your local goth clubs and bars, but like if you travel even to like other states and check out other scenes, if you go to raves or Ren Fair or, you know, conventions or anything and you meet other alternative people, you will realize that most people who identify as either goth or alternative, they lead very different lives. Like, you'll meet people who are doctors, nurses, lawyers, dentists, and like sometimes you are gonna meet those people who have like those stereotypical goth jobs where they are a tattoo artist, a piercer, a business owner, or they do own like a goth boutique where they sell goth clothes and accessories online, or they are an artist of some sort, or maybe they're in a band or something. But for the most part, most people who identify as being a part of these subcultures, they work regular jobs and they have regular lives and they dress pretty regular. I'm not saying that you shouldn't dress the way that you like to dress because people would think that you're trying too hard or anything. I'm saying that you shouldn't have to worry about feeling like you're less than. And if you're only buying things because you feel like you're less than or like you wouldn't be accepted in a community, then you're wasting your money, you're wasting your time. And like you should really take time to think about why you're buying the things that you're buying and whether or not it's something that you genuinely like and want to buy, or if it's something that you're getting just to get acceptance from other people, both in and outside of the community. And that's just how I feel. I feel like I've been on TikTok and I see lots of TikToks, specifically from like the younger goth alternative community, which I typically ignore because a lot of it is filled with misinformation. A lot of it is filled with rage bait. A lot of it is just clickbait and not anything rooted in reality in terms of my experiences and the people that I personally know and everything. Like, that's just what I have to say. Like, I don't think that you should have to dress extreme in order to be recognized as goth or alternative, and I don't think that you need a stereotypical goth or alternative person's job in order to be valid in your identity. It is a music-based subculture, and as long as you like the music, as long as you're a nice person, as long as you're not a bigot, then I don't think it really matters. And if you guys go outside of TikTok, go outside of the internet and meet actual people, you'll see that a lot of people who go to goth bars and clubs, industrial nights and stuff, they're wearing regular clothes. If you look back at any type of goth festival, documentary, anybody that like was interviewing goth people at any type of goth events, and they say, oh, this is a place for everyone, but they only interview people who dress extreme and they ignore the people in the background, pay attention to the people in the background. Pay attention to what the people in the background are wearing. The people in the background are wearing comfortable shoes, comfortable clothing, little to no jewelry, little to no tattoos, little to no accessories, and you really don't need all of that in order to be a part of the subculture, in order for it to be a part of your identity. And I also urge you guys to not make goth your entire identity and to explore other things that you may be interested in. It's like, yeah, I like goth music, the clothing and everything, but I also like wearing a lot of colorful makeup. I also like making colorful artwork. I also like listening to some pop music. I have listened to like different genres of music throughout the years. I have friends and family that don't identify as goth or alternative. I'm friends with people who don't have tattoos. I'm friends with people who don't have piercings. Like, I don't even have piercings aside from the ones that are in my ears that I got when I was a baby and I don't even remember. Like, I urge you to be friends with people of all walks of life. I'm not saying that you should put yourself in danger and surround yourself with people who disagree with you, on major things. Like if I have friends that like cheese and I don't like cheese, then it's fine. But if somebody calls themselves my friend, but they're homophobic, they're transphobic, or any type of problematic, then they're not my friends anymore. Like, I urge you guys to think outside the box and try to be a more interesting and more multi-dimensional, dynamic individual, and surround yourself with a variety of different people and challenge yourself to explore different things, because the internet communities just aren't it. And it's not the same as it used to be, where there was like chat rooms or like vampire freaks or all these different Tumblr blogs and such, where you could have sort of a community online and meet other like-minded groups of people and support each other. I feel like the online community, as far as people who identify as goth and alternative now, is just, it's really toxic. It's really not accurate to real life. Like, I see a lot of people saying stupid shit like goth isn't political, when it's a post-punk culture that's built off the values of being anti-consumerist, more community-based, more community-oriented, and creating a safe space for marginalized groups of people. A lot of people. Okay, so the clubs in my local area, I can't speak for other people in other areas. The clubs in my local area, they make it a point to make sure that it is a safe space for marginalized groups of people. So if there is a man or a woman or they them and they're going around sexually harassing people, those people get kicked out, they get banned, they kind of get shunned from the community. Like, people don't invite you to hang out to events anymore. People don't invite you to hang out with friends anymore. Like, you kind of get shunned from the community if you're a problematic person. If you are like homophobic or something, then people aren't going to want to be friends with you. People don't say, oh, that's just a difference of opinion. They feel that way. I don't agree with it, but that's how they are. Like, no, people will not like hang out with you. And if anybody is like, oh, like, have you met such and such person, they're gonna like say like, hey, I don't think you should hang out with such and such person because such and such person is this, this, and this. And it's not even like they're talking shit. It's just like they're warning you that this isn't a safe person for you to be around, and I urge you to make better friends, type of thing. Okay, so I know I look a little crazy, but we're gonna trust the process. Yeah, like, I just feel like the internet goth community is like not a real place. And if you're new to the goth subculture and maybe you're too young to go out to clubs and stuff, you should find age appropriate people to hang out with, and discuss your love of music and different things that you like to do together, and form genuine friendships. Don't make friends with people for the aesthetics. Don't make friends with people because they're popular in your local scene or on the internet. Like, that's not a compatible friendship to have. And don't just assume that, okay, so in the Black community, there is a saying that we have where it basically means that you can't trust people just because they look like you. And not all skin folk is skin folk. I feel like that applies to everything. Whereas, like, you can't assume that just because someone is goth or that someone is alternative, that they're gonna be a good person. You can't assume that just because they have piercings or they have tattoos or they have blue hair, that they're gonna be the type of people that you need to be around. You can't assume that just because someone is gay that they're not gonna be homophobic. You cannot assume that just because, you know, somebody shares certain interests with you that they're gonna have some of the same political beliefs, and you can't assume that they're gonna be a safe space for you to be around. You just can't make those assumptions. There is a saying in healthcare when you're learning about bloodborne pathogens and such that you should treat all patients as if they are crawling with the worst diseases in the world. Like, approach every situation as if it is potentially dangerous, and never let your guard down, and never just assume that certain people are safe to be around just because of how they look, or just because of if you like them or respect them or anything like that. So with that said, that just because you see somebody and they identify as goth, or they're making goth talking points on the internet, doesn't mean that they're safe people to be around or to be in community with, or that you need to be listening to them, or that what they say is a valid or representative of the community. They're just the loudest ones. Okay? They're just the loudest ones in the room. And they're the ones that are speaking the most. Just because someone is loud doesn't mean they're right. And a lot of people are just loud and wrong. I like to extra contour my nose because I want to do freckles later. And I want my freckles to pop more. And they pop more when I have a darker nose contour. Alright, so I'm gonna bronze my face just to kind of like blend contour in with my concealer so there's not such a stark difference. Okay, so we're trying something different today. Sushi Glow sent me this blush. It's like a reddish oranges color. I had to pause a video to do a video for this on TikTok because it is linked in my TikTok shop if you guys follow me on there. And I'm just loving how buildable this is. Like, it's so vibrant. I typically wear like a pink blush, and then sometimes I'll add red eyeshadow to the edges. But today is a good day to wear a red blush. Like, this is so cute. If you're one of those people that think that goth isn't political, I highly recommend you Google and like read up about the original punk movement and the post-punk movements, because being goth, being punk isn't just about wearing leather jackets with studs and wearing mohawks. Like, they did a lot of work for the community. Like, they were feeding people, like they were feeding the homeless. They were just advocating for human rights and human well-being. And the reason why punk music is so chaotic, it's supposed to be anti-establishment, anti-structure, anti-colonialism, anti-white supremacy, and all about creating safe spaces for marginalized people and just encouraging people to be more humane. And the goth movement kind of like grew out of the post-punk era. And a lot of goth people still have those values. That's why a lot of goth people don't buy fast fashion. A lot of goth people, they only buy thrifted or vintage or stuff off like Facebook Marketplace, yard sales, and more. A lot of goth people take on to like the DIY routes when it comes to like your clothing, your jewelry, your hair. A lot of goth people are creative and encourage people to be creative and are very supportive of the arts. A lot of goth people are a part of the LGBTQIA plus community and support having a safe space for them. Before the word non-binary, came into the zeitgeist or whatever, it was just perfectly normal for goth people to be androgynous. Like before we knew, about people being non-binary or whatever or anything, it was just common for people to be androgynous and nobody really would question it. Like it would just be a normal thing. So to see people say that goth isn't political or that you don't have to align with certain political beliefs to be goth is a fucking lie. Okay? Those people are trying to be safe space for bigots, or those people are bigots themselves. And there's like no in between, and it's just not true. To realize this, but there are goth communities that exist around the world. That means people all across Asia, all across Africa, all across Central and South America. That means all different religions, languages. There are goth bands in so many different languages, like English, Spanish, Portuguese, Creole, just all different types of dialects of different languages too. Like it's so diverse, and there's so many people who are in the subculture that are intersectional, like me. Like I'm black and a woman and I'm alternative, but the world sees me as a black woman first before my goth identity. Whereas people who are white and are in the subculture, people see them as a part of the subculture first, and then white, and then a woman, and then plus size, and then gay. If they are like a flamboyant person, they have like a flamboyant personality or whatever. So there's certain elements of my personality or just me existing as a person that I can't hide. So I can dress like a normal person to avoid discrimination in certain situations, like if I was going to a job interview or whatever. Like I don't dress like I'm going to the club when I go into job interviews. In fact, I've done several videos on this channel, get ready with me to go to work, get ready with me to go to a job interview, where I've showed you guys how I look going to work for different situations. So you can't say that I'm being unprofessional or whatever the hell. But yeah, like I just feel like the TikTok goth community is not a real place. It's a very toxic. And while people like me know better and can use discernment, I feel like people who are younger, who probably shouldn't even be on TikTok, are going to see that and think that that is an accurate reflection and that's the way things should be. And it's not. And it's going to make the future of the scene worse than like it already is. There's so many goth clubs and events that existed for years that are no longer around, that you guys are never going to get to experience and are truly missing out. There's so many good people that have died over the years from various things that you will never get to meet, that is just like, it's concerning. Like I want this to remain a safe space for future generations, and I also want it to remain a safe space for myself, my friends, and my peers. I want to be able to continue to go out and not have to worry about the TikTok goth community discourse becoming a thing in real life. Like that's what I don't want to happen. I don't want the TikTok goth community to become a thing in real life, or to feel like I can't interact with the younger goth community because they act like the people on TikTok. Let me know if you identify as goth or alternative and you relate to any of these experiences, and we can chat about things below. And I'm gonna continue getting ready because I don't have anything else to talk about with you guys. This is kind of like an impromptu get ready with me video while I get ready to go to a local food festival. On TikTok just to like show you guys how I do my fake freckles, and I'm just gonna do a quick run through. So you want to get a detail brush like this. This is for painters, like oil, acrylic, whatever, or you can use a nail art brush, which is what I recommend you use for more detail works. Either was fine for this particular look. I use a mixing medium. So a mixing medium is what you can use to add to any eyeshadow, any concealer, any highlighter, any shimmer shadow, any glitter you have, and make it into an eyeliner. So you don't have to buy every single color eyeliner on the market. You can just buy a good mixing medium and add this to any eyeshadow or any product you have and create it into an eyeliner. I'm using my darkest concealer that I currently have. So this is the NYX Bear With Me concealer in shade Deep. The numbers are letters BWMCCS13. So those are, this is the deepest concealer that I have, and eyeliner. Now, because I'm doing a more natural looking freckle, I'm using black eyeliner and concealer because I don't have like a deep brown eyeshadow. But if you have a deep brown eyeshadow that you want to add, or whatever color you want, you can go ahead and do those things. You can also do this with your water activated liners if you want them to be a little bit waterproof, a little bit water resistant, depending on your mixing medium. So this mixing medium, I'm not sure if this is waterproof, but I think it is water resistant. Now, if you want something that is waterproof, then you'll have to specifically get a waterproof mixing medium. But I just got this because it was cheap and it was at the beauty supply store and I didn't want to have to order online. So that is what we're doing. I just took it and mixed it at the back of my hand. Some parts are darker than others, and that's a good thing because it's going to make my freckles more dynamic. Okay. So I'm going to be looking in this little mirror. I'm going to take it, kind of dot it. And then I'm starting around my nose. So we're just going to do some little blotches. And I'm going to take my finger, press, copy, until it runs out. And then fill in the gaps. I think that this is gonna make your freckles look a little bit more natural, or about as natural as I'm gonna get because I'm extra. And then I just continue to repeat this process until I feel like I have enough freckles. I tend to like fill up this part of my face, and sometimes I'll add a little bit up here, but it depends on my mood. But that's pretty much how I do my freckles, and I'll show you guys what it looks like at the end. Okay, so I'm done getting ready. This is the final look. I put my lashes on. If you guys want to know how I put on my lashes, I do have a lash tutorial for you guys. And I did make a freckles tutorial, so this is like the final look. And I layered my highlighters and everything. It's looking super cute. I do feel like my eyeliner is a little bit uneven, but because it's still cute, I'm like not mad about it. And I'm using lashes from TikTok Shop. Like this row right here are the lashes that I'm using. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys later. Bye.